Welcome to Strong Talk. Is that what it is? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Anyways, this is a podcast, so you're gonna listen to it probably on iTunes or something. I'm Kale Beck. I'm joined by
Mike
Michael
Battolino?
Mike Battolino. Yeah, I was pausing for people to wonder, but
Oh,
I
less pretty than Obi,
yeah,
unfortunately.
he's not as pretty, um, but he's also not in Africa and not sworn to secrecy about World's Strongest Man, like all the competitors are that are actually competing, like right now, or I think they're sleeping right now, but they'll be competing soon. It's what is the day? It's August 13th, so World's Strongest Man. The first day kicked off today, and that's pretty much what we're going to talk about. I remember I messaged you earlier this week. I'm like, do you want to do a podcast so I'm just not talking to myself, and we can kind of go back and
Always.
you can go back and forth and on like a preview of World's Strongest Man. Then I kind of realized later that we decided to record it when after World's Strongest Man actually started happening. So that wasn't that smart, but
Well, we don't know how much is has. Well, we know that a couple events have finished.
yeah, not very much has happened yet. For people that are unfamiliar, Worlds runs very different than most contests where like pretty much so there's what five groups of six
Five,
people.
6 groups. No,
There's
five. Five
five
groups.
of
Five
six.
groups of 6 people.
Yeah, and they all have somewhat different events. So pretty much every group did a loading medley today, and then group four and group one also did the Hercules hold. So not too much has happened so far, but that's pretty much what's going on, and we just kind of want to break down each group and what's going on and what we think is going to happen, and speculation and a little bit of insight onto why it's not live streamed and all those things, which is driving me absolutely insane with everyone asking me that. But
Where can I watch it on Flow Elite? Is that where I watch World's Strongest Man?
I'm sure Flow Elite would love if they could stream it, but
Right.
they
Right.
couldn't. I was talking to Armin, who works at Flow Elite and does the Wadcast podcast today. He like people commented, they're like, I signed up to watch fucking Strongman, and you're not even gonna air the Strongman contest. That's it. Unsubscribed. It's like they
They don't
never,
get it, man. It's a TV show.
but they never
Nope.
claimed that they were gonna have World's Strongest Man. They're like, hey, we're expanding our Strongman coverage. Like, I thought they did an awesome job with Europe. That was
Yeah,
really easy
that
to
was
follow in
awesome.
the deadlift championships, but it's just and the other I don't know all these people that say they wish they could watch it. I wonder, do they really? Because I woke up at about a little after 7 a.m. here on the West Coast, and it was already done. I know me. I don't think I would have got up to watch the two events at like 4 in the morning.
No, and you've also got to realize that, like, so they do an event, like a few guys go, and then they've got to set everything back up. Like, this takes a while.
Yeah,
It's not very fast. You're
no.
going to be watching it for like 5 or 6 hours to see 2 events.
Yeah, to see well, more like you're gonna see 30 people do one event and then 12 people do a second event, and then
Right.
all right, see you tomorrow at 3 in the morning. It's not really. It would be cool if they put up like a little highlight package like Rogue does with the Arnold,
Sure.
but Worlds is not set up for a live stream. It would be incredibly boring. And I mean, we're two guys that are going to do a podcast talking about it, and I'm going to tell you right now, I would not wake up at 4 in the morning to
I don't.
watch it.
I don't think I would either. I mean, I like waking up and reading the results spreadsheet and
Yeah,
looking at like Instagram videos of, one event, but I'm good. I'll wait until it's on TV
yeah, it's
and
it's
then
an
binge watch it.
it's a nice TV package. I always end up watching it at my grandma-in-law's house because everyone else is awake because they replay it like on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve or whatever it is. And then, by about 10 o'clock, people are like, are you still watching that? I'm like, yeah, the finals are at 11 and I've been up since, 7.
Yeah.
That's a fun morning. I
I
enjoy
watch it
that.
all day Christmas Day. I've been
Yeah.
doing it for the past few years.
And I'll look at grainy Facebook videos and stuff in the meantime, but I don't think that, the one or the other takes away from the TV production. It would be nice if it was sped up and done in more way, but that's not really what worlds is. I think it never has been. The strongman's a weird sport where it was a television show that became a sport. So, and Worlds
Sure.
was
Yeah.
always set up like this. It was never like, okay, I want to make this sport that's going to find who the strongest man in the world is, and people are going to be like, this is the most amazing sport in the world. They got together and they're like, we're going to go to Universal Studios, and what was it, like 77, and we're going to put all these different people together. And wouldn't that be a great TV show to see who the strongest out of all these different, football players and bodybuilders and, weightlifters and shot putters, etc. are? It's not. They're like,
Actually, I watched. I'll generally pull up like an old World's Strongest Man while I'm rowing, while I'm on my rower, and I was watching the '82 World's Strongest Man the other day. It's so awesome, man, to go back and watch that stuff.
those old ones are really great because they were even more of a TV show than they are today. Like the events are like very novelty.
Bar bending, that was awesome.
Yeah, I don't agree with the bar bending, but definitely the sausage hold was amazing. Um, but not to. I just wanted to give a quick thing, a little disclaimer on why you can't watch World's Strongest Man. So every time I post the results, or any sort of update for the next week and a half or so, I can just direct them to this podcast. I'm like, listen to the first 10 minutes of this. But
There you go.
yeah, so there you go, people. But Mike's competing in strongman. He's done a couple of Plat Pluses, done some powerlifting, does some coaching. One of the coaches at was starting strongman with myself. And you're how far out from what's it
2
called?
weeks.
What,
2
what
weeks.
what's that called? The SoFit Platinum Plus or something?
Yeah, so I think they're calling it the strongest woman in the world, and the Jacksonville and the Florida Platinum Plus, something
Sure.
like that. The big thing is the strongest woman in the world.
Yeah, not world's strongest woman. Let's be very
Right.
clear.
Right. Which is interesting.
Well,
But
it's a TM trademark.
there'll be
Hash-
there's like 10 grand on the line for them, I think.
Yeah, and they got some big sponsors like Reebok. I think KT Tape or one of those tape companies, but just Reebok alone. I'm sure Reebok's like, yeah, here's 10 grand, whatever.
I just like that half of the competitors for the men's Platinum Plus are flying from Texas for the heavyweights. It's about half of the Texas competition.
There's a lot of Texans, it looks like, showing up. I mean, Florida's not too far, so
It's gonna be fun, dude. It's gonna be a good time. Whoever wins, it's gonna be tough for them. I mean, it's not gonna be me. I hate to say it, but I mean, I know where I stand, and I can't beat Trey. I mean, dude's a savage.
yeah, Trey Mitchell.
Did you see he did a 490 farmer's deadlift the other day, like
Yeah.
easily?
I saw that, and he's
It's like,
he's
that's pretty
what,
good.
like what's his name? Berserker Lifter on Instagram,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, if you don't follow him, you should.
Yeah, he's got some big lifts, and I always appreciate when he's lifting and his shirt shows a little belly.
And his destroyed shorts, they're like, there's nothing left to them when he deadlifts. That's awesome.
That's the best strongman competitors is when you always know that someone's good and they've been around for a while when they have contest shirts from 3 years ago that no longer fit them because they're now 30, 40 pounds heavier, and they always lift in shorts that are about as old as they are. Those are always the best competitors. It's not the one that buys every single thing that's on startingstrongman.com or anything, that and has all the brand new stuff. But yeah, it's like there's plenty of them, like the Zach McCarleys.
Yeah.
Dimitar has that same pair of
The belt that Dimitar has. It's awesome.
I'm talking about his orange shorts.
Oh, the shorts. Okay.
Those are, but yeah, it too. It's like that. This belt's been. It's been around for longer than most of these people that have been alive that are lifting or even knew what strongman is. But
I don't know what brand that is, but it doesn't have like the Velcro on it. It doesn't Velcro anymore, and it's all these world records in it. It's so awesome.
yeah, it's like half falling off. It's a great thing.
Still hits 310 on the dumbbell.
So I think that's another good place to start is talking about the Arnold Asia and also this weekend was SCL England. So everyone's kind of scattered around. Not every ones at Worlds. There's some very notable names that are former finalists that are either said they were injured or kind of are injured or something.
Oh, that's another name we forgot about. Wildauer. Wildauer's not at Worlds.
Yeah, he mentioned that, and I said, "Who's missing?" He commented on the thing, Martin Wildauer, and was like, "Some of us." He said on the Facebook post, like, it's also hard when some of us aren't full-time professionals and need to apply for time off. He's like, I couldn't plan that. I already planned to go here.
That is true. Yeah. I don't know what he does for a living. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably. Well, the majority of people, it's not full-time strongman, so it does make it a little harder.
That's why I'm so impressed with Pritchett, because he's got like a full-time like a labor, full-time, laborious job, and yeah, still trains like crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine it. I mean, I can't train like crazy or do a laborious job.
Yeah.
So either one, let alone both. But yeah, so yeah, there's some notable names. Most of all would be Audrina Savickas, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I think I would say it's calculated, and
for sure.
that he is kind of hurt.
He's had that back issue for a few years.
Yeah, which hasn't stopped him from competing before.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Zadrunas. What I have to like, the way I see it is like, for someone like Z or someone, they can't show up to Worlds without a good chance of winning, or else there's no point.
Sure. Yeah. If he knew he wouldn't win, so I think it was a smart call.
Yeah. So he can go to the Arnold Asia. I'm sure that he's getting a good payday. And it's less taxing of an event. He can attempt a max log, which the Arnold circuit seems to be obsessed with world records every 4 weeks at one of their events. So that'll make them happy. And,
so, remember Z took off from, because I went to the 12 Arnold and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Z took off from 13, but he was there.
Yeah.
Because he knew he wasn't 100%, and then he came back and won the next year. So he knows. He knows what he's doing. He's
very smart, and he's also he's one of the few that's a full-time professional strongman. So, if he can go to Hong Kong and make a couple bucks, even if he's not 100% to compete at Worlds, he's going to do that. That's smart. I'd do the same thing.
Hey, he might set another log world record.
He might. I don't think he's going to. Just judging by how the last few have looked, attempts, it just doesn't. I think it's hard to put. What is it? What would be like 512 pounds over your head when your back's iffy?
I still don't know how 2 years in a row he's done the Austrian Oak for 4 reps. When almost no one else could even lift it once.
No one else on that stage.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's smart, and I don't think it's anything to begrudge Z or anything like.
No.
It's more, and the other thing is that if there's all these opportunities, like there's 3, big to fairly big to notable contests right around the same time for strongman. That's great for the athletes. Like I heard that Eric Dawson just won the SCL England.
Oh, he won another one.
Yeah, so that's his second Strongman's Champions League win, and so that's great. Like these American athletes and other athletes that may have not been invited to Worlds, even if they're deserving or not, they still get the chance to go compete somewhere, hopefully get some prize money and get their name out there and everything. But that's like there can't only be 30 strongmen in the world and only 30 opportunities. There needs to be more of it. It would be nice if there's a little bit more conjunction on when the contests are done, but that's just not going to happen because they're all done by different people. They don't care what one or the other does. Like it's not like they're doing the UFC and the UFC is doing like 100 and then 101 or whatever on the same day. It's Bellator or whatever is going to hold a contest at the same time if they feel like they can get away with it and make it and make it a success. It's business, and they are competing. It's not like it's just one strongman league. But when leagues like that compete, it's great for the athlete. If anyone remembers the World's Strongest Man IFSA days, all the athletes I've ever talked to or heard stories of from that said that was a great time to be a strongman. And it kind of looks like we're heading into something similar.
The only thing we're missing, right?
Vasil
Doing,
Verstruk.
no, doing another Fortissimus.
Well, that's not gonna happen
I know.
because the whole problem with something like Fortissimus is it like the Arnold's gonna work because they're huge fitness expos, so they make a ton of money
Yeah.
on their own, so they have a ton of money to spend, even if they don't directly get that money back. But they need to hold it in high prestige. Where getting into the strongman, like holding a strongman contest, and all the investors, that there's a reason why Fortissimus was only for 2 years. It lost a ton of money. And I know I keep mentioning that word money, but that's what it comes down to. Like things can't be successful unless they make money and people make money. It's just kind of how the world works.
So I meant to tell you this before, but I got a little inside info about how much the plates cost for the deadlift at the Arnold this year.
From Rogue?
Yes. So each of those individual plates, man, I really wish I remember the number, was thousands of dollars. Each individual plate.
Weren't they like they're CNC billet, right?
Right, I think so.
Yeah, they look fancy.
You know what sucks, dude, is that I found out after I went down to the museum in Austin. I can't even. What's the name of the museum?
Stark
again?
Center.
Stark Center. After I went down to the Stark Center.
That's not where Iron Man lives.
Right. That they had a plate in the back that they just hadn't brought it out for display yet. It was like, because I really wanted to see that plate. And they had, I think they already got Shaw's Stone, the 555.
Nice.
I think they have the 555 down there too, which I really wish they'd gone a little closer to 6, but, that's neither here nor there.
Well, you'll need.
He could have done it.
Oh, yeah. I think he's
For sure.
for it. I watched the Eddie Hall documentary at a private screening at the end of that weekend, and Shaw was there, and I talked to him briefly because people were asking him, do you think you could hit a 600? And he's like, yeah, I don't want to brag, or they asked that, I think people are congratulating him on how easy the world record looked. And he's like, I don't want to, brag or anything. And I was like, Brian, we just watched 2 hours of bragging.
We can do it 2 minutes is okay.
Yeah, you can just say I'm good for 600. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I could do it. It's like, there's no, you don't need to have like a sense of being humble after watching the Eddie Hall documentary. That was.
Do you man, I don't remember if it was on a YouTube video or what it was when Brian talked about when he was considering not doing that stone. Do you remember that with the money from Mark Bell?
Yeah, I think that was either on like something Mark Bell put together on his channel or like a Rogue video, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I guess he was considering not doing it, and then he went over to Mark Bell's booth, and Mark said,
"I'll give you
I'll give you $5,000 if you do it." And then he didn't think he was totally serious, and I guess he either texted him or called him later and said, "Hey man, were you serious about that $5,000?" He's like, "No, I was just kidding." And then it was like, pause. I'll give you 10. That's pretty freaking cool, man.
Hey, what a time to be alive, man. That's
not bad. No, I'll go ahead and do it. I'll do it. All right.
See, that's the thing, is that kind of proves the point right there, is you shouldn't break a world record for free.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's not like, Brian went over and started that conversation hoping he was going to end up getting 10 grand from him, but if offered, it's like maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
And
I think talk about Worlds?
Yeah. I think we should, but going over who's missing: Audrina Savickas, Jerry Pritchett has a hamstring tear, which was bad, a really bad one, just a couple weeks ago that he suffered at the trying to deadlift 500 kilos. Dimitar is I don't think there's anything wrong with him, and he's competing at the Arnold Asia instead. Who else was competing at the Arnold Asia? The one I found interesting was
Shivlikov?
Yeah, he was already. It said he was competing at Worlds, and then it says he's not, and then the next day you see that he's competing at Arnold Asia. Also, Vitalis Lawless is a former runner-up at World's Strongest Man's not competing, but he's competing at the Arnold Asia. I know he has some serious back injuries that ever since they introduced that bale tote yoke at the Arnold, that pretty much his back's been screwed up ever since.
But he killed it this year, which I was happy to see.
Yeah, but he killed it, but it's still
it cost him. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Benny has some sort of like medical or issue. He put up a video on his Instagram. Benny Magnussen.
Right.
Radzikowski, I posted, not sure what's wrong. He's had nagging bicep and tricep, and he responded on.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He responded on someone else. It seems like he wasn't that happy. He said, "I have." He's in his point. He said that he has a problem with bone. So not sure. He said it's not the muscle, it's the bone. And of course, this is with translation, so not sure exactly what's wrong with him, but hope he's okay. Right. But yeah, so there's some big names missing at Worlds, and of course, like you said, Martin Wildauer, who's been a finalist in the past, he competed. I think he got third at the SCL England today.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that because I'm really not sure.
You know who got second? After Eric Dawson?
After Eric Dawson, I think who's the and it's another one of those I think he also did you see the post that Mike Bartos put up about the two people that broke the world record?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh yeah, so I guess they set a world Dawson a 404-pound on the Stone of Steel.
Oh, to break. Now, was it as easy as Martin's Lexus's 400?
It looked very easy. And then someone else also hit it, and I'm pretty sure that guy got second, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, okay, yep, there you go. Eric hit the 404 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 100 and something kilos, which I can't imagine even doing after I just lifted one that was empty that was 130, and my bicep said that this feels horrible, so I'm never going to do it.
It's freaking tough, dude. It's a tough event.
All right, but anyways, Worlds started today. There's 5 groups. Group 1 consists of Martins.
Yes,
Martins. Exactly.
I'm sure he yelled it a couple times, and I really hope that they show that when the TV show comes out.
It'll be great TV if they feature Martins a lot, who we've talked plenty about, not just leading up to Worlds, but over the years. He's made incredible progress, and this just seems like I don't really see a limit on it either, and he's doing really well after day one, where he took, I think, first in the loading medley and then third in the Hercules hold to put him in with 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a 3-way tie for second with Felix, Oberst, and Belsack, who I think Belsack's also going to surprise people in this heat. I think that he could have a possibility of being the other qualifying spot.
Because he'll probably win the dumbbell press.
I think he'll win the dumbbell.
Really good at the dumbbell.
Yeah, he's really good at the dumbbell. I think he's from Slovenia. And yeah, he's pretty explosive. Heat 1's an interesting one because it has a squat, which I think is what really hurts Mark Felix. Because we all know he'd probably win a deadlift, but I don't think he has the best squat in the world. But I could be mistaken.
Yeah, they were talking about. I watched the official strongman video the other day, and they talk about how they seeded all of the athletes. And I was aware that they always kind of have, like a top 2 in each group.
Yeah.
But I guess they do seed everyone, and then break it down to where hopefully they put them in events that they're good at. I would have liked to see Felix do a deadlift again.
Yeah, I found that interesting, especially with the organizers all being based out of England or Great Britain, whatever it's called. It seems like there's always like a little bit of, help.
They could have switched, if they had switched Adam Bishop with Mark Felix. I don't know if they're seated the same, but
yeah,
that would have put him deadlifting. But no, it's not how it went down. So, but he still got. Let's see, Felix won the freaking Hercules hold.
Yeah, which he had with his banana fingers is not too surprising. Oberst got second despite having a bicep tear in the first event, which was a loading medley, which consisted. Did you see? I know you just saw Thor's video of the loading medley. Do you see how horrible those things look?
Yeah, they look terrible. I would not want to load those.
They're steel drums with a tiny, tiny lip. which that makes it really hard because like kegs, like the standard keg, like if you compete in strongman, you've probably done ran with a keg or something. It has like a nice lip you can grab onto. And then Worlds in the past has used those blue plastic ones, which people hate because there's a smaller lip. Apparently, these steel drums have an even smaller lip than those, and are slicker.
People will probably say, "Oh, they're only 275," but
No.
it's still a 275-pound oil drum.
Yeah, and you're also running in sand. I think they're running in sand again, weren't they? I'm not sure.
I don't know if that was sand. I'd like to see him run in water again. I'd like that.
It kind of looks like dirt. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's more hard packed dirt than sand, but still, it's which probably doesn't affect it that much. But you can tell even in the photo that Half Thor posted on Instagram, and you can see Terry Hollins, and I'm not sure exactly who's next to him, but you can that they're fighting to find a good grip on these barrels.
But doesn't look fun.
No.
Doesn't look fun.
So,
sandbags are definitely probably easier.
Yeah, a couple of the groups got sandbags, and I'm sure that they're all happy about that. But unfortunately, Obi tore his bicep on that event, and he's probably not going to continue, which is really unfortunate. That he tore his bicep and then still managed to get second behind Mark Felix, who Mark Felix had probably beat almost anyone in the whole any qualifying group in the Hercules hold. Is good, and I don't think Obi's really known for his grip by many people. So that's I'm happy that he's able to have that good event there. But it does suck because I think he looked good in the fingers, and squat really favors him, so he had a good chance. But it's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But I'm sure he'll be okay.
And then let's see. So Arho ended up in third in the loading race.
Yeah, Arho got last.
Yeah, that's surprising.
It's surprising considering he took second at Europe just a couple weeks ago. But with the other events coming up, he could do it. And also something that we definitely need to note is that there's double points for stones again, which is kind of silly, but you have to.
They keep doing it, so.
So that just means that stones basically ends up being by far the most important event. So I think that favors Arho. I'm pretty sure he got second in the stones at Europe's.
Is this the second or third year they've done double points on stones?
It's the second. I don't think
they
didn't do it last year, right? And they did it the year before, though.
I don't remember. I can't remember now.
Something like that. But I think that's what happened. But I'm not a fan of it, but we definitely have to mention it because that's going to really affect how everyone ends up. And I also want to look forward. So then they have group one has the single fingers, squat, dumbbell. Fingers, I'm really not too sure how
they look heavy.
They do look heavy. I'm not really sure who to pick in group one for the fingers.
None of them are all that. I mean, compared to like Thor, none of them are that tall.
No.
Maybe Arho and Felix are like 6'2" or 6'3", maybe.
Yeah, those two definitely have the most experience on the implement.
But Martins is just freaking awesome, and I don't know, like everything.
He's athletic, and he's. If I had to pick someone, I might be being slightly a homer, but I'd pick Martins on the fingers. That he's going to continue to do well in this group, just because he's a good athlete. He's pretty explosive, and it just seems like he's the kind of guy who's going to pick things up quick. And also, training with Ode Haugen, you're going to learn every trick.
I was say that, yeah. Ode is going to teach him everything he can.
Yeah.
Like he started off his squat training when he first started it off didn't look all that great, and then very quickly he got the hang of it and is killing it.
Yeah,
so.
And he's wearing some briefs that Ode wore at the Norwegian Championships in 1973 or whatever it is, and they're still helping people out. And then of course after the fingers is a squat. Belsack's I think he could surprise people in the squat. I really don't know anything about his squat training, but he's explosive.
He's big. He's thick.
Yeah, thick, shorter, thick legs. I think he's definitely gonna win the dumbbell press. And then, but the stones being double points going to really have a factor here. I think, judging by it now, I think Martins is definitely going to get a spot, but then pretty much anyone else can pick up that second spot in Group 1.
I love, I'm a big fan of Arho, so I hope he makes it through. I know he had a rough last year. He got hurt. He got hurt in the yard last year doing, testing the implements.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Stoltman's awesome. I don't know how much he weighs because that squat is going to be tough.
Yeah, the squat, I don't know how heavy it is, but I'm assuming it seems like everything's going to be pretty heavy this year.
Higher mid sevens maybe.
Yeah, I'd say 705 to 725-ish, maybe 750. Yeah. So yeah, that's tough, especially having to pause it, or not pause, but tap the sides.
Tap it on those, yeah.
You have to have a lot of control. But I think, Arho might technically be in last after day 1, but he's only 2 points back.
Things can change fast.
That can change in one event. So that, like I said before, Group 1's that's the one where you look, you're like, any two of these people can make the finals, and it still kind of looks like that. It's just unfortunate that Obi had to get injured, but it's a tough sport. Group 2.
Good old group. Zemansky, is that how you pronounce it?
Shemansky, yeah, something like that.
He's good. I mean, is this his first year at Worlds?
No, he's been a couple. I think he's been here 2 or 3 times, but he's good. I think it's going to be close between him and Nick Best for second in the group.
Yeah.
I know they only did the loading race today. Eddie Hall is the clear favorite in the group, especially.
I don't know. Do you think Eddie Hall will win the deadlift? I don't know.
No.
I mean, no, probably not. Probably being last in the deadlift.
Not the Viking press either.
No, he's I don't know about the shoulders. Yeah, Eddie should pretty much win the last 3 events.
Yeah, I think
he should win the deadlift, the Viking press, and I mean he beat Thor on stones in the finals last year, so he's good at stones.
He did. So yeah,
I think he's got a truck pull, so it'll be good for him.
This event's also featuring truck pull, which is going to go on tomorrow, then keg and deadlift the day after, and wrap up with Viking press and Atlas stones on the 16th. It's interesting because like truck pull and keg toss are 2 of those events where they can really swing. Like if it's a tight race, if you get like 3 seconds lower, you might be the difference between
first and like fourth.
Yeah, that can happen in events like the truck pull. So it really depends on how heavy it is and the conditions and everything. And then keg toss, one mistake can be a huge difference.
So this is keg toss for height though, right?
That's right. I wasn't noting that. So that's a lot different then. So I think that would actually favor someone like Eddie, who probably has plenty of power. I don't know how big he is, how good of it. I'm sure it's probably a mini keg, so he should be able to fit it between his legs fine. But yeah, he's so big right now. But I don't think with how strong his back is, I'm sure he can throw something really high in the air.
I'm excited to watch Thor and Terry Hollins do the keg toss for height.
Who else was also? There's a guy in Sweden who was neck and neck at keg toss for height when Thor set the world record earlier. I think it might be. I think it was. I don't know if he's from Sweden or if it was the.
Is it David Nostrom?
He's competing at Worlds.
Oh. From. Where'd you say he's from?
I think he was a Swedish guy. He might have been just some other like Icelandic or something. I think was it Johnny Hansen maybe. I don't know, but there's someone else I remember. They were pretty close with him. So, like, when they did it, I think they did it at Giants Life Sweden, the keg toss.
Okay.
So, that'll be interesting. It might have been John Olive, the guy who's from Norway, or I don't know. People, every Scandinavian listener is going to be screaming at me right now that I don't know every single strongman in the world and everything, but
You're supposed to.
Yeah, but anyways, that'll be interesting to see. We could see a new world record in those events by someone.
So. I think Thor will probably, if there's a ceiling, Thor will probably put the keg through it.
They'll try. I wouldn't doubt it. So that's an interesting group. in the first event, Szymanski beat out Nick Best. Szymanski and Adam Bishop in the loading medley, which happened to be sandbags, beat out Nick Best. Nick Best is pretty good at loading medley.
Loading, yeah. Especially sandbags. It's better than oil drums.
Yeah, so that was a pretty. I'm sure we don't know any of the times, but I'm assuming that this was a very fast group.
Bishop's pretty light and quick.
Yeah, he's like a rugby strength and conditioning coach. I think or something in England. But other than that, yeah, I think that's going to be a close battle down the line from between Nick Best, who just won Mid Americas, and Szymanski.
I don't remember. Nick Best is pretty good at the Viking press, right?
I think out of all the overhead events, that's probably his best
one.
Yeah,
he's solid at the Viking. So that'll be a good one.
Yeah, so that should be good for him. I think Szymanski's really good at it, though. It seems like I don't think any Polish guy's bad at Viking press.
It's a good point.
Yeah. I think that's about it with Group 2.
All right.
It's kind of
Group 3 is pretty awesome.
Group 3 has quite a lineup. We got Derek Devon from USA, who took second at the Giants Live North American Championship. Real strong, underrated. He's a former baseball player.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how long has he had his pro card.
A couple of years, not too long.
Okay.
But he kind of goes under the radar, but he's been a pretty consistent pro if you look at all his placings. He's improved steadily. I know he's put on a lot of weight. I think he's in his upper 30s, so he's a little older. But he's definitely solid and one to watch out for. And of course, we have good old Terry Hollins, who
has to have more fun than any strongman competitor out there.
Yeah, I think out of anyone, I think Obi even said that he's the funnest to hang around.
He's got to be. Yeah. He really seems like he's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many times on Twitter he's like, man, I got to stop drinking and smoking.
And he still hasn't.
And he still does awesome. I'm sure he's going to make the finals. And Derek Devon will probably push him, but
yeah, I think Devon's really going to push him, but especially if you're looking at the events, we got loading medley, fingal fingers, keg toss for height. Those are all very tall guy events, and it's a pretty tall group as well, with Terry Hollins, Hafthor Bjornsson, Colm Wolf making his first appearance from New Zealand. He's big.
Is he?
You seen it? Yeah, he's like 400 pounds.
Oh, I don't know much about him.
The big ol' Kiwi. That's something I always said is the strongest Australians come from New Zealand.
Oh, dude, he's really big. Wow.
Yeah, and he's not that old. He's I think I'm glad he's a nice guy, but yeah, he lives in Australia. They're all happy about him down there. He got last in the loading race, but I'm sure he'll pick it up. I could see him doing something they did the Australian amateur nationals last weekend, and he did an exhibition of the keg toss for height, or they did a keg toss, so he was just I'll just kind of practice this a bit.
Yeah, actually I went on his Facebook page to look at him, and that's the first thing that came up.
And aren't they they're really high over the bar, if I remember right?
Yeah, he's launching them into orbit.
Yeah, so
he's got to be. I wonder if he's at least 6'6".
I think he's about 6'5", 6'6", roughly 400 pounds.
If he keeps going, he's only going to get better.
Yeah, he's definitely has a bright future in the sport, but I expect him. He's probably it's his rookie year, and he's a little younger, so he'll probably do some stuff where he got 6 in the medley and then shine in one event, be a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
But it's great, and and then we also have Johnny Hansen, who got 3rd in the first event. But yeah, looking at the events, this can be interesting, fingers and stuff. Of course, you have Hafthor Bjornsson, from Iceland, the mountain, all of those things. I think that's a very tall group. Strongman's obviously a tall man's sport, but I think just about everyone in that group is about right around 6'5" or higher. So and with fingers and keg toss, etc. They kind of favor the taller competitors. So I think that'll be interesting. They also have the deadlift. I'm not sure exactly what the setup is for that.
I don't know if it's a bar or a barbell. I don't know.
I think, yeah, because they have a deadlift in the finals, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a 12-inch deadlift.
Okay.
But I don't know what the setup in the.
And the dumbbell, that'll be. I don't know if Devon is better than Hollins at that. I don't know how. I don't know how Devon is at the dumbbell.
I think they're probably pretty close. I think it's going to be pretty close. Pretty close between them in this finals. People might be surprised.
How many shirts do you think Thor will go through if he rips them off? See if he does well at the deadlift on the 15th, we can assume he'll rip the shirt off.
Yeah.
And then if he wins the stones, for sure, I mean the shirt's coming off.
Oh yeah, I'd say over under at 3.5.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Whichever way you want to go on that. I think he could do it. Definitely the keg toss for height if he sets a world record, but it's gonna be kind of weird because it's not one of those events like you're done and you're excited. It's just like it's thrown over, like. He could just start to rip his shirt off midway and then it hits the bar and it's like, oh, all right. But a great video that everyone should check out on Instagram. I reposted it on the Starting Strongman account is Shane Germain, who's really strong, 80 or 90 kilo lifter from England. He just lifted 340 kilograms, I think. And went up to his buddy and ripped his buddy's shirt off to celebrate.
That's pretty awesome. Hey, you got to keep it new and fresh.
He just kind of grabbed him and shook him. You're like, when you're all pumped up, but the guy's shirt just ripped off his body. But it was if you deadlift 340 kilos at under 90 kilograms, I think you'd probably do the same because
you're welcome to do whatever you'd like.
Yeah, no one in the room shirt is safe. And just to be clear, it was a male friend. So,
so I'm looking at Group 4, and it just says Ari Gunnarsson is from Ireland.
I think that's Iceland. Of course, strongman's a great sport because you follow it by watching a Google spreadsheet that's being updated by about 2 or 3 people and hitting refresh. But the guy who made this year's spreadsheet.
Okay, it says Iceland.
Oh, yeah,
it is Iceland.
Okay. Matthias Bjorheim, I think, and he's from Norway, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's not. So it says island, but there's a little bit of a translation error that he didn't make this for us. So
I'm a little sad. I messaged you earlier that where is I think it's pronounced Per Gunnar. Per Gunnar. Yeah. He usually goes to Worlds every year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he went last year, but for a few years there, he was doing spreadsheets every year.
Yeah, and he's a great resource there, and he'd put up some YouTube videos and stuff of like when Shaw deadlifted like 975 back when that was a big deal. Yeah. I don't think anyone would be like, oh, that's all he did now, which is insane because it's 975 fucking pounds. But
right.
Times a changing. Yeah, but yeah, he was always a great help. I'm pretty sure he's not there. I think he just kind of I know he's busy. I think he works like one of those things where you're like remote, like on like an oil liner or something. I don't know exactly.
He's got to take. To go to Worlds, you pretty much got to take 2 weeks off. If you want
and they've done a worse and worse job of, or better and better, it depends on how you look at it, of announcing when and where it is. So.
Oh, this had to be the worst year. What was it, like 4 weeks?
It was 4 weeks public notice. I had gotten somewhat of word maybe around April, but it's like, hey, it's going to be in Africa. So it's not like, even if you know that, you didn't know exactly the dates or anything. So, I
hope you can get off work and come to World's Strongest Man.
Sure, yeah. So that's, I know that they're being really tight. Like they're telling the competitors not to leak the results. I think that's something that we need that also needs to be like, the competitors they're in their contract that they're not allowed to discuss this stuff until after it's aired on TV, which is probably going to be, sometime around December or something. So it's, it's interesting.
All right. So Group 4?
Yeah.
You know,
Lauren,
I'm kind of sad that I don't know how Stan and Brian did. I'd really like to know. I mean, it doesn't
I
look like they did awesome because it's. I mean, it says these guys all got. So Brian might have gotten fifth, Stan might have gotten sixth, the other way around. I don't know. I hope.
I think Brian did better than Stan, which judging on the loading race, Brian Benzel from USA and Stan Carradine from USA. Um, so I'm gonna guess Stan got last. I don't want to say that because it's kind of rude if it's not true. But I think so. How this is going, this group is who's in yeah we the front runner is JF Caron from Canada, who's finalist last year. He's really strong. He's probably I'm sure he won the first two events. He won the loading race and the Hercules hold.
He's the only one that did that too.
Yeah, he's the only one that's won two events. Well, there's only been two groups with two events.
Right.
But yeah, so
What was funny is that when I watched that official strongman video, they were like, "Oh, JF Caron, he should do pretty good." I'm like, "Dude, JF Caron is good. Like,
yeah,
he really."
you have to JF Caron's probably right there in the top 5 in the world at this point.
Yeah, he's very good. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, he should make the finals.
Yeah, and probably be likely right around top 5. If I wouldn't be too surprised if he podiums. He's been getting better and better. I don't think he has that many chances.
What was that competition that him and Martins just did in Canada a few weeks ago?
Like the Warwick Strongman Canada something.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he won. Martins got second, so that was, I'm sure they both weren't going 100%, but still.
They're probably going pretty good. I think Martins kept it pretty close. I think he ended up losing by about 5 points or so, which he was happy. Perennial finalist. Kind of just shows that Martins right up there with him. But yeah, so he's JF Caron's were comfortably in first. Fresh off Europe's Strongest Man, Lawrence Chalet. Is it Chalet? Chalet?
I think it's Chalet.
Chalet, yes. That H. Yes, Laws.
Right.
Had a little bit of tough start in the loading race, but that's one of his worst events, according to himself. So he just kind of wanted to get it out of the way and got fifth, and then second in the Hercules hold, and he has 7 points overall.
And you also got to what people also might not realize that. So Laws had to go. I mean, if they went in reverse order, he had to go second in the Hercules hold.
Mm-hmm.
So that so he had to put up a really good time.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure JF Caron just wanted to go just a little bit, just a second past him, just to secure first. So, Laws is definitely. I'm sure he's at pretty close to 100%. He seems pretty healthy.
Yeah.
I want him, man. I do not want him to get hurt in that freaking squat lift. It worries me that he's got a squat lift, but I think he'll just do enough to win and call it good.
This time, I hope, and I'm pretty sure that he's just gonna. Hopefully, he does good in the truck pull, which I'm sure he will, and he can be towards the end and know that he has just enough to do. I'm interested to see how JF Caron does in the squat. I don't really know. We know he has a good deadlift.
Remember. Yeah, I can't remember if I've seen him do a. Let's see. So he made the finals in what 12?
I think he's made it the last couple of years. He might have been in the year that they had a squat, but I just don't really remember.
I don't know if he was in 14 as well.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe last year he wasn't in the finals. I could be wrong, though.
He was in the finals last year.
He was in the finals last year. Okay, so he was in the finals in 12, and then he wasn't in 13 and 14, and then he was in 15. Okay. So he was 6th last year.
Yeah.
Okay,
like I said, he's right around top 5. So yeah, 6 last year, and then there's some people missing this year, so that would make sense that he gets top 5 if you go by math like that. But from what I heard, Benzel and like 2 other guys are a point or 2 back of Chalet of Laws. So
yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how accurate that is, but it's still pretty close there.
I want to see Stan do well. I'm a big fan of Stan. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I am too.
Still trains with my all-time favorite Mike Burke. So.
Yeah.
Come back, Mike Burke.
Yeah, I think there might be like 4 of them that are tied for 3rd behind Lawrence. So I think there's like 3 or 4 that are just like a point or 2 back.
It'll likely be JF Caron and Chalet, but hey, anything can happen.
Yeah, and the guy from Denmark, Mikkel or whatever. That guy is statically stupid strong.
Really?
Yeah, he has like I think he definitely has over 200 kilo log
Whew.
or right around there.
For
I
sure,
don't
world class.
the squat. He's probably gonna do good on the squat. He's
Yeah.
not the tallest guy. He's really thick, really statically strong. I wish he was doing something like the Viking press instead of a dumbbell.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how Laws and JF Corona are on the dumbbell.
Probably decent, not like stellar.
Not like Dimitar.
Well, that's no one, but yeah.
Right.
I think, but again, we always have to factor in that Atlas stones are double points, so that just kind of screws any sort of prediction up.
That it does.
Yeah. All right. Group 5.
Group 5. Who's that guy? Brian Shaw?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who he is.
Yeah. I think he got second in the loading medley.
Dude, Mateus is so freaking good.
Mateus.
No,
it's Mateus. Try to pronounce his last name from Poland. It's
okay. Did awesome at the Arnold.
Yeah, Mateus. He got what, third 2 years in a row at the Arnold, or third and fourth, third and fourth, I think.
So Mateus.
Yeah, but
for some reason I think it was higher than that. I could be wrong. This year I think it was third.
Yeah, but
It wasn't last year. Maybe it was third last year.
Yeah, he got third last year. I know that. Then I think he either got third or fourth this year. But he's
killed the dumbbell.
Yeah, he'll kill the dumbbell. I expect him to go stupid crazy on the Viking press. Just judging by how explosive he is.
Oh, and he's Polish.
And they're all good. Radzikowski, they're just kind of good at it. I think one was above all of their cribs. Like the crib in Poland comes like with a little like hinged pressing attachment above it.
I really don't know. Evan LaRue has gotten a lot stronger. He's definitely strong.
Yeah, he deadlifted 9. Like he set an Australian deadlift record this year. Deadlift like 920 or something. I think at the Arnold, South Africa. Charlie Gao, or however you say his name, he qualified like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool of him. He's been doing strongman for a year.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I remember they shared it on like they're like, look at my friend 1 year into strongman going to World's Strongest Man. I think he deadlifted over 400. They had the official strongman like amateur log and deadlift championships, and I think he won that.
Oh, okay. And then Gerard van Staden.
Yeah.
Also very strong.
Gerhard. I hear he's a really nice guy from South Africa. There's Johan Els from South Africa as well. I don't know if that's kind of like a little local. But Gerhard's, he's been around the scene. He's, a strong guy, decent competitor, but This is pretty much going to be the Shaw and Kilkowski show.
Yeah. I mean, the other guys could have a chance, but those are some tough.
The only way I see, the only thing with Kilkowski is his deadlift is not great.
Right.
He
bowed out of the deadlift, right? He didn't even do it.
He didn't even do it at Europe's.
At Europe's, okay, that's what it was. It was the Europe's. He didn't do it.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, they had an opener of 400.
I believe it was 400.
And he went, nope, I'll do all the other events.
And he still did well.
Yeah, I still think he got fifth or so at Europe's without even doing an event.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome.
But he's gonna. I have no idea how he is on stuff like truck pull. He's not the biggest guy. And Atlas stones, I'm sure he's good at. I'd imagine, but it'll be. I think he probably is pretty happy that he beat Shaw in the loading medley. Shaw's probably not going 100%, but
hey, you want to run through the groups real quick and call your top 2? See who gets more.
I thought we already did that.
Now sort of.
Let's just sum it up real quick. Yeah.
Let's sum it up.
Let's go back in reverse order.
Okay.
Group 5, I'm going to go with Sean Kilkowski.
Okay, I'm going same.
Yeah. We go Group 4.
All right, JF and Laws.
I think you kind of have to.
Okay.
And
And then 3?
Yeah, it's half door. And I don't think Hollins has ever missed a final. So it's
first year, right? Didn't we say that was his first year?
His first year he missed the final, I think. But other than that, he made it like 9 straight years. So I can't see him missing it, but I think it's going to be very close with him and Devon.
Okay, I'm still gonna. Yeah, I'll go Thor and Hollins too. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, this one. Let's Group 2. All right, I'm gonna go Hall Zemansky.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same, but I think, yeah, again, it's really close. Do you know if Nick won the Stones at North America's? I think he did.
Wait, which one? Which competition?
The one that he just won. He won that whole contest that Aaron Mullen put on.
Were there Stones?
At the end.
Why do I not remember watching Stones?
Because it was the last event.
Because it was log.
Yeah, log
Deadlift?
carded.
Oh, North America's. Okay, I'm confusing it with the amateur log and deadlift championship. Okay,
that was the
next day. The next day. Man, I don't remember. How he did those.
I think Devon might have won the Stones, but yeah, I think
that would be close though.
I'm gonna pick Szymanski. I think he's just kind of. I really feel like he's coming into it here. You know, like I think he's been close to making the finals, and I think he would, but Nick will be right there with him.
And then Group 1, I'm gonna go Arho and Lexus.
It's a tough one. Single fingers. It's a shame that Arho doesn't have Keg Toss in his group.
It is.
He's good at that. I'm gonna go with Belsack just to
keep it interesting. One disagreement. Okay, good. But you also pick Martins to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, well.
I think that's about it. I'm gonna try to put this up earlier so it's somewhat relevant.
Well, okay, let's do this then. Let's go top 3 finals.
Finals?
Finals top 3.
All right. Let's see. The events in the finals are frame carry, circus barbell, not dumbbell, barbell, deadlift for max, a plane pull, kettlebell throw, and Atlas stones, which should not be.
Is it double points or is it not?
It should not be. I know it wasn't the time before.
Okay.
When they had double points in the qualifiers.
Yeah, because they're all gonna want to do the stones. No one's gonna go. No,
exactly.
They're all gonna want to do the stones. Okay. Well.
So if you go by last year, and who's in it, then the top 3 would be Eddie Hall. It would be Eddie Hall and Thor and Shaw. I think it's really hard to bet against Shaw.
Right.
In this, like, if they placed odds on strongman anywhere, Shaw would be a clear favorite. He's not an underdog at all.
No.
It really depends on who makes the finals. I see, like, looking at the events, you could see someone like Laws doing really well, I think.
Right.
In my opinion, this finals really boils down to, I feel, the plane pull and the kettlebell throw. Those are the two, like, where things could swing more than anything else. You know, they're the less standard events, so you need a good placing. I feel like we kind of know roughly how everything's going to shake up in the deadlift and the circus barbell and stones, but it's always more of a wild card in events like plane pull, any sort of throw. But I don't think that Hall's gonna podium.
Okay.
Because he has some sort of small injury to his fingers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that frame carry is gonna really hurt him. And But this is going to be on the 19th of August, so he does have about a week. That hopefully it's not like I don't think it's a serious injury, so hopefully it gets a little better.
So they only have 2 days off in between Stones.
Yeah.
And,
between the
do they
qualifiers.
normally have 3?
Between the qualifiers?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
But
all right, so who's the top 3? Who's your final call?
I'm gonna go Shaw, Halfthor, and I think third's really gonna be a toss-up between like people like JF Caron, Laws, Hollins, Hall.
Okay, so who do you call? You got to make a call for third.
I'm gonna say Hall cracks the top 3 this year. Just
okay.
It seems like he kind of has to, but I know it's just I'm a little hesitant. But it seemed like last year he had his best performance ever in the finals, and like he really looked dialed in for it. So I'm just gonna say that's gonna continue, and he has I think 2 event wins right there. So.
All right, I'm going Thor for the win.
Okay.
Shaw for second.
That's the hard part, huh?
I'm going Martins for third.
just right in there. Yep.
I'm going Martins. Martins for third. It's probably going to be Hollins, but or maybe I don't know. Third is going to be tough, dude. First and second are. I really think it's going to be freaking close for first and second.
Yeah, I think this going to
be. They're both going to be pushing each other the whole way.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting year, and I'll be sitting here refreshing my spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and see what's going on.
I know. I woke up and there's like 6 Facebook messages all going blah blah blah, and I'm like, fuck, it's like 7:10 in the morning. Let me get.
What time did you get up? I got up at 3 to see if I could find something.
Sure didn't. I did last year. I don't know why I got all into it and was like, oh, I got to get up, but nah, not this year.
I'm not getting up.
Nah, I'll let someone else update the spreadsheet for me, and then I'll find whatever else I find, and then.
Last year I was refreshing like crazy for the finals.
The finals I might. It depends. I always kind of go into it a little slow, but again, devastated for my good friend and co-host of Strong Talk, Robert Obi, but I'm sure hopefully he travels safe. I just wish he could still do the squat to put on a show, because I think he'll be.
I know, man.
But the finger is gonna be tough. But we'll see what he does. Hopefully he's feeling good. He's got a lot going for him, and he'll be all right. But it'll be fun. Thanks for doing this with me, Mike. And if anyone wants to follow Mike, they can follow him at Chrono Strength on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and all that. And
everywhere I'd want you to find me.
Yeah,
Arnold says.
Yeah, that's what he does say, huh? And I'm Kalle Beck, and I'm gonna go re-up my Libsyn subscription and pay money again to host this podcast, so I can actually upload it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and starting Strongman I'm gonna be posting mainly on the actual website, not on Facebook or Instagram. The website has the actual information on what's going on. Does it have
the live stream too?
Yes, it has the live stream. You just have to search every page. You can find. Man, I told someone, it's like, where can you watch the live stream? I'm like, only in Africa.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go to Botswana.
Yeah, but it does look like the conditions are a little better. They're better than Malaysia. No one's complaining. It's like, mid 80s, not too humid, so everyone's pretty happy. But good luck to all the competitors. Hopefully they stay injury free, and we'll have a better idea of how things are going to shape up once everyone's in the finals, because it really, really depends. Because the way I see it is, it's not who can score the most points in each event, it's who's not going to lose as much points in each event.
Or who gets to the finals being as close to 100% as you can be.
That too, but it also depends on who gets in where and who can steal points and get in between someone in certain events. I think it's going to be that close in like the top, the top 3 to 5, where that's going to be a big thing. But good luck to everyone, and keep on being strong and all that stuff. And talk to you, I think, next week. I'll try to do something. We'll see.
Sweet.
See ya.
Later.